Oh, my favourite time of the week, KFC. What am I going to choose today?
Hi there, welcome to KFC. Can I take your order?
Can I have
Sorry, would you be able to repeat that for me?
I said
Hold on, just give me one moment. Someone help! I cannot explain to you how many times that has actually happened while I've been working for KFC. But let's take all this stuff off before I start getting flashbacks. But let's actually get into what it was like working for KFC. One word I would use to describe it is eventful, and I'll be getting into some of them stories in this video. While I was working at KFC, I mainly worked like front of house, and pretty much what front of house is just either till. Sometimes I would pack, but that got so stressful. I'll tell you about that later. And as well, sometimes I'd do the delivery window, which arguably was one of the worst jobs out of all of them. Maybe packing was the worst. Not really too sure. It's very close. But working on the till is the thing that I did definitely the most out of all of it. And really, overall, it wasn't too bad, but you would get the occasional person, like the person you see at the start of the video, and it would just kind of ruin it all.
You're just ruining it.
And as well, you just get generally like really rude people. Like majority of the people I would serve, I would say were rude in comparison to the amount of people who were nice that I served. I remember one person especially, I don't know what the rules are in the other parts of the world, but currently in England, especially in my store, we're only allowed 6 people in at a time because of everything that's going on. And I remember one day, one of my colleagues, if you want to call them that, asked someone to go stand outside, and this bloke was raging. He came back in going crazy that he'd just been asked to wait outside. He was putting a complaint in. He was asking to talk to the manager. He was asking to talk to the regional manager. He wanted to talk to head office. He wanted to know everyone. He wanted to let everyone know how he felt. I would kind of get it if it was like normal times in a way, whatever normal times are now, and you'd been asked to wait outside, but now it's just kind of the norm. It's just how it works, like, do you know what I mean? And to make that much of a scene about it was just so stupid. But they were the kind of things that you'd have to deal with, just like really stupid like arguments and just kind of grudges like that were just so pointless. But I remember as well, one of the weirdest customer interactions I've ever had. The little girl came in, and when I say little girl, this girl was pretty much just out of a pram. Like, I don't know how her parents sent her into the shop. While she was ordering her food, she was still sucking her thumb and like barely talking. It was one of the most stressful orders that I had to put through. And then it got even more stressful, which who knows how that happened, because it was stressful enough trying to get the order out of her. But then literally your worst nightmare on the till, someone not having the right amount of money and then giving you foreign currency. This girl started giving me euros, and I kind of went, I don't know what to do. Like, I just literally looked around and grabbed the first person I see and went, help me, I have no clue what is going on here. Like, how do you sort that situation? Like, it was so hard to translate the fact of this currency doesn't work. But how do you explain that to a 4-year-old? But you just get some weird old things like that happen on the till, and just like awful situations. But don't get me wrong, the majority of the time it wasn't too bad, but I would literally say 8 out of 10 customers were rude. Like, not overly rude, but they weren't polite, I'll put it that way. The only other real drawback to the till as well was the fact that while you're taking orders, you've then also most of the time got to then make the drinks for the orders, which doesn't sound too bad. Like, if you ever been to one of them drinks machines and you're pressing all the buttons, it's all fun and games. Until you've got to put through 6 different drinks, and then you've got people waiting at the till just staring you down while you're making them drinks. Don't even get me started as well when someone puts through multiple crush'ems. I near enough had nightmares when someone ordered more than one crush'em, or ice creams and crush'ems on the same order, because I'd have to make them as well. Because crush'ems took so long to make, you'd have to mix all the different things together, get the right amount of frosting, and then like mix it all together. And each crush'em would take about a minute, which doesn't sound too bad, but when you got to make 3 crush'ems and then you've got to go give them out, and then sometimes make ice creams, and you've been like 4 minutes. The person who's been waiting at the till to nothing for 4 minutes isn't always best pleased when you come back. But I've had some very eventful experiences with the crusher machine. One time, all the Oreo pieces from the top got stuck in the thing, and I knew you had to take it off the top of the machine, give it a shake, and they'd all come unlodged. But one thing I forgot to do was hold the lid that wasn't secured, so I went like this, and the whole floor flooded with Oreo pieces. Good thing the store wasn't busy, because that would have caused so much chaos. But another thing that I've also done as well, like the little like mixer bit on the crusher machine, it kind of like grabs the drink as you're mixing it. So I thought, I wonder what will happen if you just let go and just kind of let it do its thing. I'll tell you, it didn't do its thing. It just started coating the crusher machine in Crush'em. So I quickly slapped a lid on that and ran it over to the person and quickly went back to the till and acted like nothing happened. Someone noticed about 20 minutes later though, and I just denied all knowledge of it like even existing. But really, overall, the till's not that bad. Like, doing the drinks and that together does get stressful, but apart from that, overall, it's not really too bad. But there's one thing that in front of house which is really bad, and that is packing. Pretty much packing is literally as simple as it sounds. You just pack people's orders, but it gets so stressful if it's a busy day. Like, next time you go to a KFC or any really fast food in general, look at the people who are packing your orders. If it's busy, they're going to be running around, they're going to be looking stressed. Like, it is the hardest thing to do, especially as well if you don't really know the menu. Personally, I try to avoid packing at all costs, but I did do it a couple times and I got quite a few orders wrong, and then that brings up another issue of angry customers. Like, one time the customer didn't come back after this time, which I was so thankful for, because they 100% would have been so angry. I bagged up all their chips in a separate bag and then put all the chicken in another bag and accidentally only gave them the chicken and left all the chips behind, and they'd got a bucket, so they had about 6 sets of chips, which I just completely forgot about. Felt really bad. I was kind of hoping the people would come back for it, but they never did. But I was really surprised, because I've seen people come back before if they're missing sauces, and they come back angry to another level. But that's another reason why I don't want to do the packing, or I try to avoid the packing, is because you get them angry customers coming back. But one of the last like main things that I did while I was at KFC was do the delivery window, and people who work on delivery windows do not get enough respect. That stuff is stressful if it is like a big day, like it was the first day that I did it. It was one of the Euro games, so it was packed. Like, there were so many orders going out, like to the point we had to shut down all of like them ordering machines because we just couldn't cope with the amount of orders. But if you work on the delivery window, you'll hear these noises and you'll start to hate them very quickly, like very quickly. Them noises give me traumatic flashbacks. Like, it is so stressful. If I hear that now, I like jump, I'm like on edge, like I start getting stressed. But it's not too bad if you're just on like a non-busy day. But as I said, the first day that I did it, it was one of the Euro games, so it was absolutely rammed. Like, I literally had about 20 bags of food and about 20 drivers outside, and not a single driver for the food that I had. And every time I was going out the window, I was calling out order number 1234. All of the drivers would just look back at you and just start death staring you like, where's my order? But the drivers overall really weren't too bad. A lot of them were quite nice, to be fair, especially the ones that did it quite a lot and like regularly came down. Like, they were quite nice, where you kind of like knew them in a way a little bit. But really, that was kind of like all my main experiences from KFC. But trust me, I've got so many more stories, and if you want to hear them, let me know in the comments, and as well by liking this video. And I'll probably make a part 2 if we get a decent amount of likes and a lot of you want to see it, because I've got a lot more things to talk about. But I hope to see you next Friday at 5 PM like always.